We're live now, so let's all pretend the last 20 seconds didn't happen.
Jason Brown says hello, and I say
Hello.
back to you, Jason Brown, hello. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the, what did you call it? The All-Star CultPop podcast, episode 17. Len?
I was pretending it was a GIF.
Oh,
Let us in on the joke. Jesus.
You know what, Len? You're a real kid.
Gadoosh.
Listen, we're here to talk about movies and TV and
Comics.
and
French friends.
and
Some other stuff.
And the
Yeah.
Michelle mission.
let's talk about the
wait
show.
for it.
What is that?
Wait,
Is that a
the
podcast
Michelle
filmed
Mission
here?
Do we share a studio space with them? It's my favorite podcast.
They're over there.
We're coming to you live from Manny Young Studios, home of the Michelle Mission. Philadelphia's premier production space and Philadelphia's premier all-black film podcast, the Michelle Mission. This is our home. Welcome to our home. It's also the Michelle Mission's home. I'm your super pooky host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street. Super dope shop, sells super dope stuff to super dope folks who give me their super dope cash. With me tonight, Brian Lieb.
JD,
Yes.
hang on for a second.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
You know, you take your time.
I will take my time.
I'm gonna take a little time.
Is anyone thirsty? Oh my God. He's going. He's still going.
Oh no, he's gonna polish it off.
He's
He's
Aquaman.
gonna piss himself.
You left look a little baby back.
I have to leave
Oh,
that for
sweat.
an emergency. What if I get thirsty midway through the show?
I'm sure everyone gets that inside joke, considering you see us when we're not live.
Yeah.
And before we start every single show, in the periphery, he just starts chugging, and everyone just gets quiet and like stares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Is
all
that
you can-
happening? I don't
all
see any of
can
you
hear-
guys.
yeah,
when that
all you can
happens.
hear is
You're
like,
so focused. Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
sorry,
Yeah.
over here.
Gluggity, gluggity,
Yeah.
gluggity, gluggity.
I'm getting into it. And I'll have you know,
Huh?
I did that right before this show, too.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
second time in a
literally
row.
drank a gallon of
That
water.
entire bottle. I think it's
64
1.5 liters, whatever that
A liter of
translates
cola?
to.
Also with us this week, Len the Badgerball. How many liters can you drink?
I'll never tell. Holla at your boy. What's up?
Noel.
I mean, I'm good for like a liter.
Yeah.
In one sitting?
That's cool. Yeah.
What's the beverage? Does it have bubbles?
Oh yeah.
Oh, bubbles? Oh, that's a whole other
Half a liter. You can't do that right away.
It's nice to commune with it, right?
Yeah, like maybe 24 ounces tops.
Cool.
It's got bubbles.
Jason Brown says yes, and I am one of those super dope folks. Yes, you are, Jason.
Excellent.
Yes, you are.
Arson wants to know how many liters of vodka.
2 ounces.
And also with us this week, you may have noticed producer Terry.
Hey, it's me, Randy. And we're going to talk about all sorts of fun comics here on Randy's podcast.
It's Randy as you've never seen him before.
Also, with behind the scenes is Dylan, the CultPop kid.
Hey-o.
If there's anything wrong with the show, it's not producer Terry's problem this time. It's CultPop kids.
Yeah, but CultPop Kid is the best.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
Look at this. It's so great.
That's
It's cool. It's like we're in a city.
Yeah,
I guess we are in a city.
We are in a city.
Right.
Within a city.
Yeah.
Cityception. Before we get to it, I'd like to thank all the listeners for being here with us. You're also viewers, maybe. Whether you're watching live or checking it out later, if you dig what we're doing, and I can't imagine that you do, please comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we go live and do all the nasty, fun shit that you like. Additionally, email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. If you do, we will read it here on the show. We don't have one of those today. So we're just going to get right into a segment that I specifically like to call What You Been Up To This Week.
Huh?
First on the docket, Brian,
Hey, JD.
what you been up to this week?
Huh. I'll tell you what. I was watching The Peripheral, and I had been excited about this show for a little while. It looks
Where
cool.
specifically was it?
It was
On
to
the
my
periphery.
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you watch this whole show out of the corner of your eye?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I didn't get it.
Loved it. Made no sense.
Yeah. Audio was great. So I've been excited about this show. It's a sci-fi show based on a book by William Gibson, who I've read a very little bit about, but is a man of tremendous stature in the cyberpunk and sci-fi worlds. Chloe Grace Moretz stars in it. She's cool.
Ooh.
And so I started it, and Randy had said it was really good. Rob Patey, friend of the show, said it was really good. The first episode, I was like, this is boring, right? And I could barely get through it. And I'm not a gamer. I don't like shows about games of any kind, right? So I'm like, you know what? Randy and Rob, they both said it was really good. I want this to be really good. The imagery is really cool. I'm going to check it out for an episode 2. It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
quick turnaround.
it is not at all what it seems in episode 1, like what is going on. There's a completely other thing happening. There's like 3 other things layered onto the story in episode 2, which are fascinating, really interesting stuff, very cool sci-fi stuff, that there's absolutely no hint of in episode 1.
That was my question. If you were not forced to do it by your friends telling you to watch it, would you have? Was there any inkling that you should keep watching it? I guess not.
I might have given it another episode because it is a cool looking show.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like it, and it looks like something that I could like, and I was like disappointed when I could barely get through episode 1.
You were disappointed by your disappointment. Yeah.
I was disappointed in that disappointment, and so I might have given it another one, but it was really Randy and Rob saying like, this is really cool, that I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick it out.
There's one thing that Brian is susceptible to. It's peer pressure.
Yeah, for positive things, yeah. If somebody's like, Brian, you should like this, I'm like, all right.
We did peer pressure you into extra hydration.
Yeah, we
not
did,
5 minutes ago.
You did. That's
Yeah.
true. It was very positive.
So you recommend The Peripheral?
Yeah, and the first episode is not poorly produced. I'm not into things about games, and somebody else might have a totally different experience, and they're like, oh, that was good, and then just be more blown away by episodes 2 and 3.
Gotcha.
So when you say it's about games, are you saying, do you mean like video games particularly?
Yeah,
Or,
like simulation. She, Chloe Grace Moretz's character has, she's a really good gamer, and somebody contracts her brother, but they think it's her. I'm sorry, they think it's her brother, but it's her.
You say contracts?
Yeah, to
Do something.
Oh,
do
contracts.
something.
Got it.
Contracts,
Like hires them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a disease.
No, like shortens him.
They caught Chloe.
Yeah, they take out his middle.
contracting.
Yeah.
He's but not a man anymore.
Exactly. But he's got a little apostrophe now.
Yeah.
And so they hire her in thinking it's him to be in this simulation. And so it seems like it's like they're going to pay me to do something successful at this game, and it maybe has some stakes, but it's within this gaming VR world. And I was like, all right, like what's the stakes?
Right.
You know, so much changes. I don't want to tell you about it, but yeah, it's
been
really
out
cool.
for a while, so it's like a whole season
the
up
season-
already.
the
It
whole
might have
season's-
always been up right away. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's a Prime, so they usually do like 2 to
Weekly.
3 episodes, and then the rest of the season's weekly.
Okay.
And I think the first season's done. It was picked up for a
I
second.
hope so, because I love a good show that is just already out, and I can just go straight through it.
Well, I mean, you have
You
to
know.
wait for the second season.
Damn it. Well,
I'm
it's
a
too
big
late
fan-
now.
I'm a big fan of Chloe Grace Moretz.
She's great.
I will watch anything that she's in. There's a couple of movies. Something in the Clouds.
Shadow in the Clouds.
Shadow in the Clouds I really want to get to.
I want to see that movie she made with Louis C.K. that was unreleased.
Oh.
Good luck.
She was
Yeah,
the star
it's
of
pretty
that.
tough.
Good luck
Oh.
with that.
Oh,
Maybe you could find a bootleg.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet I could.
There's a lot of people in that movie.
To the dark web.
So the first
your
bootleg. Yeah, but let us watch it. The first completed film. Speaking of bootlegs, of the DCU, the Warner or the HBO, whatever. Crypto. What is it?
Oh, the
Scooby Doo
the-
meets Crypto,
yeah.
which I hadn't even heard about, but
The
it's
what?
it's leaked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the
Scooby Doo and crypto. Is that what I heard?
Yeah,
That's true.
it was a meetup between those two that got canceled by Warner Brothers, but now it was so close to completion that it's got leaked.
Was it-
That's cool.
I thought it was like a Halloween one, right? Or was it?
I don't remember what the story
There
was.
was a Scooby Doo movie that was basically done. It just needed to be scored.
So it was probably like
It was canceled.
it was probably like a direct to DVD sequel of Super
I think
Pets.
it's going to be like on
HBO,
streaming.
right?
It was
Yeah.
an
gonna be on
HBO Max
streaming.
original that was a sequel to the Scoob movie.
Oh, sequel to Scoob.
I think so.
Which
Well,
I
that
haven't
doesn't
seen.
make sense
No,
because
that's
you
the
got
Halloween
League of
one
Super
you're thinking
Pets
about, right?
yeah,
Yeah, the
yes.
Halloween
and
one.
Scoob.
And Scooby-Doo has a grand tradition of running into DC Comics characters.
Yeah, true.
Batman and Robin.
Literally an ongoing right now.
Yeah.
Also, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah.
I saw them in person once.
Yeah.
In
Me
the
too.
front row.
Wait,
it was
with
awesome.
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, he was my guest.
No.
Fucking lying.
What you been up to this week?
I went to the cinema. Oh, God. I had a chance to see Creed 3. Directed by Michael B. Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Majors. Sorry, and Tessa Thompson. It was good. It was really good. I know you don't do sport movies. Have you guys seen Creed 2?
I didn't
I've
see
seen
Creed
Creed.
2. I saw the original Creed.
I've seen Creed.
Did you see Creed 2?
Why would I assume
No.
you've seen Creed?
Because Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
He hands
Did you see Creed 2?
No.
Well.
Damn it! How the turntables go on.
So I think that agnostic of the actual sport, I think sports movies are fantastic because they are baked in drama. They're baked in conflict, and you don't have to fabricate conflict, right? So you've got this sport, and you tell you just character work around it. So I think sports films are awesome. I've loved sports films more than I love sport, or even before I understood the sport that it's about, right? So I'm a sucker for the Rocky movies. This movie was really impressive. However, it's not a Rocky movie, which is I'm actually totally cool with. I just think a lot of people are missing the Rocky of it.
Well, because people are going in expecting a certain tone that this movie, and to be fair, I think ever since the first Creed, have steadily walked away from.
Oh yeah. So if you've never seen a Rocky, which I know that
I have never seen one.
Brian has never seen a Rocky. Rocky is an idiot.
Oh.
Like he is a not smart human who just gets through with earnestness. That's his entire thing, right? So like he's just earnest, he's honest, he's stupid. In the Creed movies, he has been this kind of earnest force of almost goofiness and delight against the very real trauma of the Creed character, abandonment, group homes, like So it's been this cool like kind of dichotomy between the two characters.
Yeah.
Who directed the first Creed?
No, Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler,
okay.
and then Capel.
The second one.
Yeah, and then Michael Jordan. So like there was those two characters kind of against each other, one coming from a place of hope, one coming from a place of realism, right? They retired the Rocky character in the last movie, so this is just all Creed, and because of it, it's a darker movie. It's a darker movie about prison recidivism and child endangerment and torture
And leaning on cars.
And leaning on cars. Yeah.
It's dark.
With that said, though, like I did kind of miss the Rocky of it all, but it didn't last long because you got really into the movie, and there's a formula to the third act of Rocky movies.
Yeah.
It's a boxing match. They always show the first 2 rounds, and then they yada yada rounds like 3 through 11 with just supercuts or fancy editing and superimposed clocks and bells, just to kind of speed it along. This movie did something artistically very different, and it was cool as shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was cool as shit. Like you could. I read an interview of his where he said he was very influenced by anime.
Oh, great.
You can see it in the way that the fights are shot, in the blocking, and then in a couple of the artistic choices. You could definitely like. I think they show in one trailer him getting gut punched, and it like slows down, and the sweat beads off of his back, stuff like that. Like it's really really cool.
Ooh.
Does at one point Jonathan Majors just go,
Oh.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, Jonathan Majors is incredibly scary in this movie and very good.
Yeah. I'm actively excited to see Creed. The only reason I missed Creed 2 is because of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Creed 1. I loved all the Rocky movies. I guess I kind of do like some sports movies. I'm a big Friday Night Lights fan.
Jesus.
Friday Night, the TV show.
Yeah.
I fucking love that show.
I think sport movies are awesome.
Feel like Necessary Roughness. You remember that movie?
Oh, of course, with Sinbad and Scott Bakula.
Yes. Sinbad
Yeah.
was on that? And who was Kathy Ireland?
She was the kicker.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Jason Brown says, "Oh wow, that is good to know. My son wants to see Creed 3. Now I am intrigued to go see
You should
it."
check it out.
Nice.
It was totally worth it. It made more money. What was the
Money.
The biggest, yeah. I had only a small stroke. Keep rolling.
Yeah, okay.
It was the highest grossing sport film first weekend ever or something like that.
Wow,
It was.
that's awesome. Good for
was.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
they killed it.
It made more money than any other sport movie in its opening weekend.
I know this because my girlfriend, who,
Not factored for inflation.
What do you mean? You mean I don't know if it sold the most tickets. It made the most
so
money.
I don't know
worldwide.
about that, but it made the most money. But my girlfriend, just simply because me and her daughter said like Cocaine Bear looks like it may be kind of fun,
Yeah.
went out and immediately bought tickets to see Cocaine Bear this past Friday.
Oh,
So we went to
okay.
see Cocaine Bear, which is fine. I thought it looked like stupid fun that we both said we really could have waited for it to be streaming.
Yeah.
But okay, Mom, if you want to go, we go. So we went to Cherry Hill to see it. And we, it's a dumb movie, but it was us and 5 other people.
Oh.
There were 400 people at Cherry Hill Mall. They were all watching Creed.
Oh, that's cool.
Every one of them were watching Creed. The other 400 people were in line for the popcorn waiting.
yeah,
It was packed.
I myself never go to the movies. I only go to the theater to buy popcorn.
That's the best popcorn.
To that point though, sports movies are better in crowds.
It is.
Yeah.
It should be it should be at least half full.
An intense communal experience.
There
I feel
is
that way
there
about
is
superhero movies.
there is a group feel, a group emotion. Absolutely.
Sorry, Kong Boat Noodle. Can't believe Paddington changed his name to Cocaine Bear. That got me right in the chops. Nicely done.
Just a plume of white powder everywhere he goes in his little raincoat.
Remember the Titans with a crowd was wonderful to kind of put an
Yeah.
end to that. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
was the best
Look,
crowd
I
movie.
enjoyed Creed 3 so much that last night I rewatched Creed 1
Ooh,
and still cried like 3 times.
nice. I gotta. Do you own it?
No.
Damn it.
Do you?
I'm
did you-
curious
did you
where
not-
where in
Oh, I'm sorry. In the third act, when
just the cancer run, certainly.
the cancer run, yes, but the point that makes me like guttural hiccup and to hold back tears is right before the 12th round. He fell down. He got back up. He's got 2 minutes left to prove anything, and he's like, "I gotta prove it. I gotta prove it. I gotta prove it." And he's like, "Prove what? That I'm worth it. That I'm not a mistake." He says that I'm not a mistake.
See, I thought he was. No.
that I'm not a mistake, and then Rocky empties his heart to him. I was like, "Oh, that hurts."
I think the timing of the classic Rocky theme in that movie is perfect.
It's right after.
Outstanding.
It's
I watch that
same
often,
moment.
actually,
It's
on
that
YouTube.
same moment. He says that I wasn't a mistake. He gives him the speech. He stands up, and it's dun 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 dun.
Yep,
The only
it's
time
wonderful.
the theme is used.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Creed was like a passion project for Ryan Coogler because he was a huge fan of the Rocky movies, and he wanted to kind of do his version of it, but mix it with like some real intense storytelling and some real world pathos, and that's why I loved it. That's what I thought was missing from Creed 2. But I'm glad to hear that there's a lot more of that in.
There's a couple of things that watching Creed 1 now. It's so very Philadelphia. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a scene of him jogging, and then he riles up all the dirt bike kids. And I thought to myself again, no one outside of the city even understands that fucking reference.
Wheelie
That there-
boys.
That there are literally kids on dirt bikes and four by
Four-wheelers.
four wheelers. Sorry, in the middle of the city streets.
Is that just
because that's-
here?
It's not just here.
Oh, okay.
Where else?
There's some like down south and out west. There's other
Baltimore.
places.
It's
When I
very
was
much.
when I was
It's
in
very,
Baltimore. Baltimore. Yeah.
Baltimore. It's
Where were
very.
you
It's
in
very.
Baltimore?
It's very specifically like a cultural thing in only
Oh, it
certain
is.
pockets.
In certain pockets of certain cities, yes.
Never
but-
explained. Like
No.
even when I lived 20 minutes from Philadelphia, I'd never heard about or seen.
Well, that's the one thing that I will
Yeah.
say, and then we'll move on. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. He
Those
a good
things, though,
movie.
those
These are good
Oh, I thought we were
conversations.
still
No,
talking
did
about
it.
the dirt bike kids.
Anyway, the one thing I will say is that I actually feel there's more of a valid connection to Philadelphia in Creed
Oh,
as
hell yeah.
opposed to Rocky, where it's set in Philly, but things just kind of happen. That are happening in Philly, and maybe you got this guy from Philly, Dr. J shows up in this scene, this sports person's it's in this scene, but you can tell that they kind of like cherry pick where they filmed the stuff. Whereas in Creed, they were very intentional about where they
Well,
set
I mean,
things.
to your point though, since 1977 when the first movie came out, that same exact area has completely changed.
I know. It's
From-
not even the same.
Yeah, like it's changed.
They got rid of
from-
the Italians.
I was gonna say it's changed from Italian to mostly black. Like those same exact areas have completely changed. Even watching Adonis Creed run through the Italian market and watching Rocky run through the Italian market are completely different things.
Because Rocky ran through the Italian market.
Yeah,
Adonis did not run through
he just ran through.
9th Street.
Yeah. True. It's like just all at night. I'm sorry. Go see it. It was great.
Arson, the voice of reason, chimes in. Her explanation of John was kind of off. That was my only issue from Creed.
Way to hyper focus.
Wait, this piques my interest. Like, what was off about it? What was the problem?
I don't remember exactly her definition of John.
It was very.
We will follow up with Randy.
with Randy
Oh,
next week.
fantastic.
later on in the show.
Fantastic.
Let's move on. Oh wait, I was gonna say Len, but Len says get on with the show. It's Brian. We did. No,
JD,
we
I have a
did.
question.
What do
for
you,
you.
What do you like? What are you up to this week? Huh?
Yeah. That was my question too.
What you been up to this
Well,
week?
I'll tell you.
Oh.
Thank you. Oh.
Thank you.
I think we all did it
That-
terribly, so that's
Yeah.
perfect. Let's go.
Okay, so Nice House on the Lake is a comic book series from James Tynion, published by DC Comics. It's a 12-issue maxi series, or so I thought. And the second volume just comes out this week. Comes out today. Yesterday. This week.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It just came out. I was a big fan of Nice House on the Lake Volume 1, and I was very excited for
So were you,
Volume
right?
2. And it finally happened, and I blew through the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. And turns out, this entire time I've been saying it's a 12-issue maxi series. It's not. There's more to come. This is the end of like round 1 or whatever they call it. So it's the first part of the series. And there's going to be more, which I'm delighted by, but also a little disappointed in because
yeah.
You were looking
I
forward
thought-
to like an ending, right?
I was excited for the ending. How are they going to wrap this up? Oh, they're not. Cool.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a back and forth for me, like boop boop pop.
I feel a way about it.
Did you finish it?
Not yet.
Well then.
I feel the way about the fact that it doesn't have a fucking ending.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you go in knowing it.
Eh.
You're not going to get to the last page and be like, what the?
Well, okay, so I like around issue 7 or because I've been reading it in issues. Around
Yeah.
issue 7 or 8, they stopped on the cover. They stopped saying like of 12, and it was just.
Did they?
Yeah, like I think it said like book 1 now. Like they started relabeling it, meaning it probably did have an ending,
Yeah.
and now they're stretching it out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
To which I'm not excited about. Be what you're supposed. Be what you wanted to be.
But are they stretching it out, or did he just maybe change his mind?
I don't know.
I mean,
it
it
seemed
may
like
have
such a
been-
contained story in like a really good way.
It did. It
That
does.
I would
I'm-
love
I
more
will say
things
that.
to
I am,
end.
I am
Yeah.
more. Yeah, I like things that end, and I'm more afraid of like seasons 3 through 5 of Lost kind of problem than I am of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've got a really good tight
Good point.
concept.
To be fair,
Keep
this
it
is
tight.
all us just kind of
Absolutely.
making assumptions. It could have been like, hey, I've written this, and if it does well, maybe eventually I'll do the rest of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so they found out very quickly that it was doing well enough that he was
Sure.
just like, oh, you know
You know,
what, I'm
that's a
into
good
this.
point as well.
I'm
Sure.
into this enough that I'm ready to just keep cracking.
Yeah.
Sure.
Crack-a-lacking.
I as a feeling across the board, more things should end.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed. But I still, all of this aside, it's great. It's really, really good. It's probably my favorite series, one of my favorite series of the year. So definitely check out Nice House on the Lake. It's a really good thriller / horror. It's basically if you have a bunch of college friends and you haven't seen each other for years, and one of them's like, "Hey, let's all go to a nice house on the lake, and we'll get together and we'll do a drug, we'll have a sex, we'll have some fun. It'll be great. We'll all reconnect." And then the very first night you're there, you find out that the entire world is being destroyed.
Oh.
And then,
Stop sounding fun, huh?
I was really into it in the beginning.
yeah.
How
Did you say so much water to drink though?
Oh, that's great.
You could chug so much water, bro.
Did you
That's
say
nice.
is being destroyed or has been?
Is being.
Yes.
Is being.
Is
destroyed.
being.
Yes.
So
I
okay,
guess
cool.
that would happen no matter where you were, right? At a lake house or not.
Don't
Water
you know
to
what?
chug?
You should maybe read it.
Yeah?
I think it's. I think it's. I know that you're not really into horror that much, but I think it's the kind of
Depends.
existential,
Yeah.
Yeah.
situational.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's the
That
only
you
reason
would enjoy.
I
Yeah.
was able to say what
It's
it is.
barely horror.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
suspense.
It's
and it's the
Okay.
character.
not.
And it's interesting stuff happening.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
3 out of 3.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Hey, Terry.
Hey.
What you been up to this week?
Oh, it's nice to be asked. So I'm a video producer. I own a company called the Video Content Factory. That is, and this week was Dylan's first week as full employee.
Did you mean the CultPop
Nice.
kid?
The CultPop kid. So
Yay!
W2. So I spent.
It's an exciting time. The W2.
taxes.
Yeah. So I spent 3 days with him, kind of just gassing him up and getting him ready. This is the second podcast that we've done this week. We helped Len with the Michelle mission last night, which went off wonderfully.
Thank you very much.
And so I've just kind of been pouring a lot into Dylan and the team. We have a team of about, I think Dylan makes six or eight, something
Wow.
like that.
Nice.
Figures
But
a year. Is that,
that keeps me yes. So that keeps me super busy, and I'm very proud of them all. So I don't have that much downtime. I'm usually here from at least 7 to 7. So I don't have that much time for downtime, but I squeezed in Quantumanium on Friday.
Oh,
Okay.
So I was able to
Thoughts?
catch that.
cool.
Thoughts are mid tier.
Yeah.
That's okay. You should believe in your thoughts more.
Some jokes truly didn't land that I was very
Not that
taken
one. That was
aback.
hilarious.
Well, yes,
That was great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Some jokes didn't land, and I immediately do what I always do, which is the thing I do more than anything is watch YouTube videos. So that's definitely my number one leisure source these days. So I checked in on our friend Nando V Movies, saw
Nando,
his
yeah.
take on it. I also watched his video on casting the new Superman, which was quite good.
I haven't watched that one yet.
But I'm a big fan of his stuff. And then I just usually go on a reviews/reactions run and listen to what a lot of people thought of Quantumanium. I'm pretty much in the same pocket as the guys from the Weekly Planet, and pretty much Cosmonaut Variety Hour. I think he nailed it. Pretty much of just like Quantumanium's just an odd kickoff to 5 and a very odd introduction to the big bad.
Oh,
And I
Was
agree
it
with
an
that.
introduction?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we saw
Loki.
it
They
in
introduced
Loki.
Kang. They
He was
introduced
introduced
Kang in
the-
Loki. They introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
split-
the
it's split
setup
hairs,
for
yeah.
after that with those three,
Oh.
and this was the point that they were making, and it's a really good point of like, oh, and Fat Man Beyond was the other thing. Mark Bernardin had a great take on it too, which was just that now I know any of these guys can be killed off and it doesn't matter
Yeah,
because
that's
there's one
true.
waiting in the
Yeah.
wings. What am I, and we're not the average audience.
Yeah.
How does the average audience glom onto this villain when Ant-Man beat him?
Yeah.
And the big problem, and this is the last thing I'll say, we'll move on, is that, and it's not a problem, I didn't bump into this, but now that I think about it, I kind of do. It was obvious at the end of that movie, they were setting that up for Ant-Man and the Wasp not to make it back. If you
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that, there is no reason they should have been able to go back through and get home somehow. I think in the original script, they were dead.
That was it was a rumor that they weren't dead, that they just got trapped there, and
but
the
would
movie
come
kind
back
of
like
ends.
6 years later or
The-
something
yeah, the
like
movie
that.
basically just ends, but the idea of like all of a sudden there's a portal behind them, like
Yeah,
that
it just shows up
it
again.
does
It
seem
closes.
like it's a
They
yeah.
set it up for it to close, and it'd be
Yeah.
like, I made the sacrifice of a father.
Yeah.
Great
and
sacrifice.
she made the sacrifice to go like
Exactly.
help.
Save
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would
It does undercut it a bit.
A
but
little
it
bit. I thought, yeah,
took
similar.
watching Mark Bernardin speak about it for me to put that together, and I was like, oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
But these movies are made for mass audiences, so I can absolutely see every producer that was sitting at the table being like, no, we need Paul Rudd's face and his comedy to be
Yeah.
around, and it's got to be a happy ending. So
What I do like about the fact that they get back to the real world is that we talked about it on the show. Him going along and
was
going,
awesome.
to get the cake and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and then just sort of like realizing the consequences of everything he just went through. I love that. That whole scene was awesome.
And we don't yet know what Kang's real threat will be.
I
You know?
just hope to God he kills Cassie, because that was
You don't like
rough
Cassie? Oh, you don't like
in
her?
places.
I
I like
like-
the other
I like
actress. I think
Cassie.
I bumped into the acting on it, honestly.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Well,
No, this is good.
I had similar thoughts though about Scott himself though. Like
Oh yeah, he didn't need to be in the movie.
It was
Yeah.
a kind of the plot happened to him more often
Yeah.
than he affected the
I
plot.
would even say it happened
and
around
his
him.
entire motivation was just Cassie, which I get, daughter, great, but like 90% of his dialogue was just screaming her name.
I would have actually done that whole movie just Hank and Janet, and I think I would have been fine. But obviously you can't do that.
Right? Yeah.
What I missed
Old Ant-Man.
I
and old
rewatched.
Wasp.
I rewatched Ant-Man 1, and I genuinely forgot, and then when I remembered, I missed the fact that they are heist movies,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
and there is no heist.
And there's
Well,
no
this
T.I. and
was
there's
a
no
heist.
Michael
He
Pena.
had to go steal
It
the.
wasn't a heist. It
where
was
were the
go
boys?
down there and do it. There was no like.
They couldn't fit the voice.
There was no planning or specialty just of his. It was just, and it
Yeah.
was the.
You don't think Michael
The
Pena
power
should
of
have just
love.
rolled up in the quantum realm? Hey, man! Let me tell you how I got here.
Relitigating. I enjoyed the movie overall, but I would actually a lot of those same videos. It's like points. Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fair. It's totally fair criticism.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on to the
There we
main
go.
topic. We're here to battle it out. I don't know what is March Madness. I'm told that March Madness is the thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be doing comic book movies, non-Marvel and non-DC.
Very important caveat.
Very important.
Yeah.
So most of you will probably just tune out right now. We and by we, I mean Noel, compiled a giant list of every modern comic and Len.
I think
Every
I suggested
modern
one or
comic
two
book
movies
movie.
as well.
Shut up. No one
Terry
asked
did
you.
nothing.
Yeah, he is useless.
Well, Terry
every-
produced.
Cut the mics. Cut the cameras. See you
Terry
later.
did nothing,
hold
but
up,
great
hold up.
stuff.
Yeah.
Hold up.
You cut the mics too soon,
I
Terry.
think what we've revealed is that we've all worked on this show, and then JD picks up a mic.
That's right.
So that's what.
That's true. We
Terry
compiled
does
a
nothing.
Giant, I specifically compiled
Not anymore.
a
Dylan
giant
does
list
everything.
of every modern comic book movie from 1978 today in an effort to create a March Madness style event
Oh,
to determine the greatest CBM. We're
I
gonna
don't know
do
what
for
that
short.
means.
comic book movie.
Cool.
Since there are so many movies, I decided to focus only on non-Marvel and DC films, which narrowed my list from 170 films to a more manageable 81 films,
Oh.
which I bracketed down to a final 64 films.
That was
God
good
bless
thinking.
you.
Yeah.
Thank God you were here.
So read that.
So with these 64 films, this is going to be a multi-episode exercise, most likely. And how we're going to work it out is actually real simple. I'm going to introduce the matchup. There are 32 matchups, 64 movies. I'm going to introduce the matchup, and then each of you will provide me your pick for the matchup as well as a brief reasons why. And then we'll go in an order similar to a snake draft. If anybody's not familiar with that, it's
I'm not.
let's say I start with Len, then I go. What's your name? JD, Brian, Kid in the
Harold.
corner, Harold,
PP corner.
and then Harold goes again at the next one.
Yeah.
Brian, JD, me, and so forth and so
Awesome.
on. We just kind of go back and forth. So
Thank you.
I'm a snake.
Slithery.
I do have a little bit. I have.
Careful,
Ooh,
Noel,
slithering.
when you do this. It's feeding back
I
a
have.
little bit.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I do have some clarifying things for each of these movies because some of them have similar titles. So if you at all wondering, like, oh, which one is that? Just ask. Don't assume. We want this to be as clean a vote as possible.
I am very excited about this.
So there were 81 movies. We did one bracket offline. So this technically starts with round 2. The very first matchup in our March Madness comic book movies, non-Marvel DC full list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990
Ooh.
versus Monkey Bone from 2001.
1990. Was that the first one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said
And
the
if
80s, right?
and if you're wondering, is Monkey Bone based on a comic? Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's loosely based on the graphic novel called Darktown by Kaja Blackley. Now, that introduces a rule. We made sure that all of these movies had to have been a published comic book first.
Yes.
So say something like Transformers. Tons and tons of comics. It was not a comic book first.
Oh.
It is not included on the list. Same
Excellent
goes for like
clarification.
RoboCop or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, don't add
Nice.
us.
Very smart on my part.
Thank God.
I'm glad I did that.
So, TMNT 1990 or Monkey Bone, first to go out the gate is Len.
Oh, you don't want to go with JD start, and then you don't want to do a double on a.
We're a
first one.
snake.
Oh, no, yeah, we'd go this way. You go first, and then we'll just.
Stupid
Go.
about
Okay. All right.
You
cool.
just explained it, Len.
You don't have to go twice. Just
All right.
once,
All right.
maybe.
So the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone, is that
It's the Brendan
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser, right?
Yeah.
Henry Selick.
Yeah, it's
Chris Kattan.
It's very surreal. It's creepy. It's fun. But I remember wanting to like it more and not really being locked in on it. So I gotta go Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, come on, man. They were turtles and a half. You know, like man.
Yeah, turtle power.
That was it. That was it. And I didn't even like the comic book. But I was like, they made this a movie? Are y'all serious? And it worked.
I am gonna have to mirror your sentiment.
Was
As
one
much
of
as
the Corys in it?
Yeah, he was the voice
Feldman was the voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
of Donatello.
So I do love Monkey Bone because it's weird as hell. Mm-hmm. But if we're measuring also the staying power and the cultural relevance of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and specifically that first movie, which up until Blair Witch Project was the highest grossing independent movie of all time.
Interesting.
TMNT.
TMNT,
How about that?
yeah.
Wow.
It's just a juggernaut. I'm voting for TMNT also.
You know what? Yeah.
I listen. I've never seen Monkey Bone,
Okay.
so TMNT. If I had seen Monkey Bone, probably would still be TMNT. That movie was a cultural touchstone for me. My grandfather took me to see it. I loved it. I saw it in the theater multiple times. I revisited it recently. It's still great.
It is pretty good.
It's
Nice.
still great.
So we're at the point now where it's not statistically relevant, whatever you two are going to say.
Okay.
Uh,
I do want to talk about
but
it.
I'd like you to also give me your
As I do
your
almost
rules.
anything.
Yeah, I know. When we get to a consensus, it's just kind of the next one in. So
Sure.
That's
go
true.
for it.
What if they both said Monkey Bone?
Well, it's
Oh, yeah,
still
three of
You've
them.
already won. Yes. This will never happen to you, JD. In the middle, you will never not count voting wise, right? I know.
What is the nicest thing you've ever said to me?
It is. Yeah. Sorry.
Go on.
Cast your vote.
So,
Producers here.
well.
He's
So,
gonna vote for Mario Brothers.
I love TMNT.
Yeah.
Monkey Bone incorporates artwork by one of my favorite artists of all time, a painter by the name of Mark Ryden, right? I only found this out recently. He does like surrealist stuff.
Yeah.
They're like postcards from home. I thought about them once, right? More than once. So I absolutely love his artwork, and I only found out recently that he had something to do with Monkey Bone. I may or may not have seen it a long time ago. I have like some vague memory of Chris Kattan's character in it. I really have been meaning to check it out again, knowing that he had something to do with it, but I haven't seen it. I love TMNT, so I'm also going to vote TMNT. Yeah.
Certainly TMNT. That first movie is a triumph in comic book movies. It's taken seriously. The prosthetics are nailed by the Jim Henson
So
Company.
good.
Oh, that was Jim Henson.
They still hold up.
How about that?
I'll tell you what.
The
they
script is good.
They don't hold up. Have you seen them recently? They are nightmarish.
Oh, you mean like the ones in the history
The actual
museums?
foam, yeah.
no. But at the time, they look perfect. The characters are written well. It's written PG-13, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty violent
It's
movie.
written in line with the original comic. I think it's a wonderful example and a type of film I'd love to get back to be honest.
Yeah.
Totally different conversation for talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the
Hold your
Ooze.
opinion for it. It will come up later.
Sure.
You know, I will say
But-
TMNT needed more wet.
Monkey Bone has a wonderful musical number in it with Brendan Fraser. So I will
Monkey
say
Bone
that.
is a great movie.
I got to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Our son says Monkey Bone just for Chris Kattan's Back from the Dead performance.
So round one is, or sorry,
Good.
match one goes to TMNT 1990.
All right.
Next, we're going to start with Terry.
Yep.
We have Kick-Ass 1 from 2010 against Wanted from 2008.
Oh,
I'll go Kick-Ass.
shoot.
And I'm a big fan of Mark Millar. That's Millerverse, right?
Mark Miller, yeah.
They both are Mark Miller
Yeah.
books, yeah.
I prefer Kick-Ass to Wanted. I really enjoy both of the films. I think it was a great first outing for Aaron Tyler. Is that his name?
Johnson.
Aaron Tyler Johnson.
Taylor Johnson,
He
yeah.
was
Aaron
excellent in
Tyler
that.
Moore.
His supporting cast was excellent in that. One of would go on to
Aaron
become
Tyler
Dahmer later on. It's a solid flick for people who enjoy comic books and comic book characters because it's literally about them. The conversations they have are similar to the conversations we have. And I'm a
Less
big
violent.
fan of I'm a big fan of Matthew Vaughn. I think he directs a hell of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like his production company.
He's going to show up a couple of times on this list also.
Cool.
And the introduction to Hit Girl, that scene is pitch perfect with music
yeah.
pulls. But also, Nick Cage, that's a great performance.
Yeah.
By Nick Cage, it's fun, it's effective, and the changes they made to the source material, I agreed with.
Oh, yeah. Because honestly, you know what? When my turn comes.
I'm good.
Brian.
Also, Chloe Grace Moretz, right?
Yeah,
it
yeah,
her?
yeah.
Cool. So I have not seen that film. I never got around to it. I really enjoyed Wanted. So I'm gonna go Wanted.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was tough for me. I was leaning towards Wanted, and then everything Terry said, I was like, "That's right. Oh my God, that's right." All I was thinking about was Kick-Ass the character, and I kind of forgot about Hit Girl and Nick Cage's best performance,
Big Daddy.
or at least my favorite performance of
It's wonderful.
his. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kick-Ass.
Oh wow. A change in the vote.
Yeah, he convinced me.
I am going to go Kick-Ass also. I'm going Kick-Ass basically just double everything that you guys said, especially Nick Cage. Nick Cage puts on this comic book was just fine.
Yeah,
The comic book, yeah.
But the movie, I think, was sublime, especially in the self-referential kind of way that people approach their characters, namely Nick Cage doing a Adam West style affectation for this in-universe Batman-style character, and it was the funniest damn thing I've ever seen.
It was awesome.
Good
Rainn
call,
Wilson.
baby doll.
It's a great movie.
Is Rainn Wilson also in this movie?
No,
Or
it's
he was
Super.
in the.
No, that's in
Super.
Super,
Oh.
yeah.
Also an
Alright.
excellent movie.
Yeah.
I do want to give an honorable mention to Chris Pratt getting a keyboard in the face, though, from
Mhm.
Wanted.
Chris Pratt was in.
Wanted.
He was,
was
the,
in the
he
office
was
scenes.
the best friend who was stooping his wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Wanted. I think it's because I enjoyed the book so much, and and the movie deviates far afield.
Nothing like it.
From
Right.
the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of that. And Kick-Ass, I'm not an Aaron Taylor Johnson fan, but I like watching him get his ass kicked. So I like and you're right. It's all about, to me, that movie is all about Nick Cage and an introduction to Chloe. So it's Kick-Ass.
And also, McAvoy was here in this studio recently
cool.
doing a voiceover. He's a really nice guy.
That's awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
All right, name dropper.
Do you know we almost couldn't have included Wanted on this because the original idea for the comic was set in the DC universe.
I know.
Yeah, where like Lex Luthor had pulled off this trick.
I did hear that. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Next.
So
Let's push.
Kick-Ass takes it. The next matchup is to Len to
Okay.
start. The Phantom from 1996,
Ooh.
or the never talked about The Last Days of American Crime from 2020.
Oh.
From 2020?
Yep, Last Days of American Crime.
Oh, is that with what Oscar, is Oscar Isaac in that?
No, it's Bobo Oscar Isaac. It's
Bobo Oscar Isaac.
I'll look his name up for you.
The Bobo Oscar
Oh, you remember
Isaac.
the term like the
I
fake-
know
Not
what
for a
I
long
usually
time.
call him a $3
Wait,
Oscar
did I,
Isaac.
is that
No.
inappropriate?
No.
does
It's
that
just the poor people version of.
Yeah.
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 It's,
Oh,
such
really?
it's such a dated term. I haven't
Yeah,
said it
Bobo.
since.
Yeah, I haven't
I
heard
had
it
to-
since.
And it was always about your shoes.
Yeah, it was
generally.
always
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
Always
Adidas
shoes.
with like
Yeah.
4 stripes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is this different from a hobo?
Very
Yeah,
different.
but Bobos
Okay.
are what like knockoff, like not
So the
knockoff.
bobo is the hobo term
Not
for...
off-brand sneakers.
Off-brand.
Oh, I've never heard that in my life.
He's
Really?
okay. He's the
These
fake.
sneakers?
He's the fake
Off-brand.
Nike.
Bobos. You're wearing Bobos, bro.
Bobo, baby.
He's the
You're
fake
a Bobo.
Nike
I'll
Oscar
be the bobo
Isaac.
boy.
He's a Nike.
Who's in it? I'm sorry. What?
Go
What
ahead
were the
and
two
start
films?
talking.
Well,
on,
then it's not fair because I didn't really even I didn't see this movie. I thought
I
it was
did.
the Oscar Isaac movie. But the Phantom is
Edgar Ramirez.
Oh, Edgar Ramirez. Yeah. The Phantom. Look, man, Billy Zane. Come on, man. Like in the movie that should have made him a star. It's just you. It's another one of those movies that you want to be better than it is, but he's so into it, and well, he somehow pulls that outfit off. So I gotta go to Phantom.
I'm gonna go with the Phantom also. I did watch The Last Days of American Crime because it's based off of a Rick Remender comic.
Great comic.
Awful movie.
Yeah.
They changed so many things that make no sense, and it's just I hated the
What a
movie.
bummer.
But Phantom would have won anyway, and not because of Billy Zane, because of Treat Williams eating, literally physically eating the set.
He is, yes.
He is
That's
so
what
into
Treat
this
does.
movie, it's not even funny.
That is what he does. I love him.
Like, there's literal scenes of him with his like pencil evil man mustache, with like magic skulls shooting. Like, this movie is stupid, and I love it.
I listened to an interview with him, and he was talking about the Phantom, and he was saying like, "Yo, it made no money, but I had such a fucking good time." That's
Billy
all
Zane?
he talked to. No, Treat Williams. Treat Williams.
I don't think Billy Zane had a good time on this movie.
Treat Williams is a hoot. If you ever catch him in an interview, he's amazing.
Which also I've heard described as the poor man's Tommy Lee Jones. Going all the way back around.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. He ain't mad at that.
So I gotta call out Derumo, who's commenting in the chat. Bobo is it's a poor person's.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
What a good comment. That's great. I have not seen either of these movies.
What?
But I do love Billy Zane in one of my all-time favorite horror movies.
Titanic.
That's a comedy. What was it called? Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. So I'm going to give it to Billy Zane.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I have also not seen either of these movies.
What are you going to give it to him because of another movie he was
Yeah.
in?
Well,
Hey,
I'm going to give it to Bobo.
a vote. Edgar Ramirez is a wonderful actor. Just the movie sucked. I think even Rick Remender was just like, nope.
I also haven't seen either of these movies, but I think the Phantom is really cool. So I'm going to go Phantom.
Also, Carl's longtime
Yeah.
friend of the show, sent us Phantom comic books
right.
from Tasmania.
Yes.
Here in
Tasmania?
Tasmania. That's where
Yeah,
he
to
lives.
Tasmania.
Not Tasmania.
I choose the Phantom. I'm a sucker for an adventure film, a la Romancing the Stone or Indiana Jones, things of that
Yeah.
nature, and it's
I've been
in
dying
that
to go
kind
back
of
to
jungle setting.
Yeah.
He has a wolf.
Yes,
Your
he
dog is a
does.
wolf.
Sure.
I remember
Ghost.
that line.
Ghost, baby.
And also, I believe it inspired a Super Nintendo game, Phantom 2049.
That was a TV show as well, cartoon,
But I think that
which was
came
awesome.
out of the film.
Really?
So the
I
film
would-
happens,
yeah.
inspires people to
Oh,
think about
also,
the Phantom. They start trying to
in-
make stuff.
in
All of it failed.
Show was
But
good.
Phantom.
Like the movie.
in Bruce Campbell's autobiography, there's a whole chapter about how he was in late stage running for that and getting in shape for that movie, and Billy Zane ended up getting the role. He was doing like actual screen chemistry tests
Yeah.
and costume fitting tests
I
and
would have
stuff.
seen it if it was him.
If it was Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
I don't like Bruce Campbell. Not
You
to do a
should.
tangent. I just don't like Bruce Campbell in a costume.
Oh, yeah.
What
If
about
that
Bruce
makes
Campbell?
sense. In a spandex
We've
costume.
never
I love
seen
the
it.
Ash Williams.
I don't
wait,
think I would've
he
seen
could have
it.
got ripped. We've never seen it.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
have.
if
He
would've
was
pulled it
jacked as
off.
Ash. He looked great as Ash.
Oh, he was jacked, yeah.
I don't think
In the second one.
What other
Army.
spandex costumes have you seen him in?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see
Oh,
him
you don't
in
want to see it.
spandex.
Oh,
I
all right,
like.
all right.
I always feel like Bruce Campbell's one of ours, you know. So
You
I want to
heard
see
it
him
first.
as Bruce Campbell in an outfit,
Put
not
down-
disappear into a character.
Put down the stretchy pants, Bruce. No.
Also, he was in
Briscoe
tight
County
stuff
Jr.
in Xena, for sure.
Um,
It's good there too.
We're gonna keep it with Terry.
Cool.
Yes.
Phantom took it.
I'm a snake.
The next matchup is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2007, the
Ooh, I
animated
like
feature
that.
film,
Which was
Oh,
called
the animated.
TMNT.
TMNT 2007,
Right.
or V for Vendetta.
Oh wow, good question. I'm gonna go V for Vendetta. I really enjoy the Wachowskis as filmmakers.
Directed
I
by
enjoyed-
James McTeague, by the way.
Wachowskis. What they produced it?
They produced it. And
Are
wrote it.
you certain?
Definitely
of this?
sure. James McTeague is the director.
Yeah, I don't think they directed that.
I looked it up.
think they like
They
produced.
wrote and produced it.
Interesting. Okay, they wrote it. Okay, so that works. They wrote and produced it. Again, I enjoyed the things the Wachowskis do. They were also they've found a lot of filmmakers that I like over the years. I liked. I was certainly hit me right in the pocket where I thought anything serious comic book was cool. I didn't read the source material prior to it, so I didn't bump into any of that. Really enjoyed the anger of it all. I really enjoyed the
Anarchy.
yes, and Hugo Weaving did a hell of a job. I
he
like
did.
that we didn't see his face, but we did get that rage scene of fire. Visually stunning.
Yeah.
The domino scene is excellent.
Yep.
The use of music in that film is excellent. And certainly just the discussions of the prisoners when she discovers those letters, and that is beautifully directed, beautifully executed. And I really didn't bump up into much. I was a little younger, so I was okay to see things of government and that, and kind of take it as fiction and take it as a story that I could
it
follow.
was a little less real feeling in 2005.
And what's the name of the Elephant Man?
John Merrick?
Not
No.
the actual
actor.
elephant, but
Anthony
the
Hopkins?
actor.
John Hurt.
Hurt.
He was
Yeah.
excellent in that movie.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
the
enjoyed how
Hitler of it
they
all.
did that.
Yeah.
And Stephen Fry also was great in
Oh,
that
so
movie.
good. Yeah.
So I think it was
was
I think it was well cast. Even Natalie Portman didn't bump up into that at all. Doing an accent.
Oh.
I thought she did great. I love that they shaved her head. But I think it was just solid end to end. So I'm going to go V for Vendetta. TMNT I really did enjoy.
It's a good animated movie.
It is a good
Yeah, it
animated
is
movie. I just think if I think back to viewing both of them, I definitely was more inspired, certainly as someone who engages in the craft, by V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Bri?
I really enjoyed V for Vendetta. It was a great movie. I agree with a lot of what Terry said. I don't really disagree with any of it. That was my first exposure to the V for Vendetta story. I never read the graphic novel.
Same.
Finding out what V is was a very cool moment. And there was a lot of imagery. I like that kind of story about a fight against an oppressive regime that is in the wrong. And I guess it wouldn't be oppressive if it wasn't in the wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a different question. I never saw TMNT 2007, so I'm going to go V for Vendetta.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do remember enjoying the TMNT animated film, but all the way I got to go with V for Vendetta. What a movie, man! Everything that these guys have said, totally agree. And you said Natalie Portman didn't bump up against that.
Yeah, that's a shame.
There's nothing like Natalie Portman was awesome in this movie. I
Yeah.
really liked her performance. I cried during her performance. I thought she was awesome. Highly recommend this movie. If you guys haven't seen V for Vendetta, I also have not. Because of the movie, I was like, I'm going to go read V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
I got like a chapter in it, and I was like, I don't care.
That's so
never mind.
great.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do know
couldn't
that
get into the
rhyme.
artwork.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Really?
rhyme, remember the 5th
Yeah.
of November, I
Yeah.
know that because of that movie, and it's a
Yeah.
fun rhyme.
Yeah.
Well, it just statistically doesn't matter, so I want to talk about TMNT 2007 for a little bit.
Do it.
Go ahead, do that.
There was a 10-year lapse of no big
Tim's.
screen turtles,
Yeah.
right? Because we had, I think, like Turtles in Time at like 97 or 98 or something like that. And they were relegated to reruns. There wasn't even a new cartoon going on at the time. The character designs were fantastic. The voice acting was amazing. You had Patrick Stewart in there. You had Chris Evans in there.
Chris Evans was Casey Jones,
It was Casey Jones and the Casey Jones, and they were all like
which means
the
he's
movie-
been in more
more
comic book movies than
yeah.
anybody.
Oh, wow.
The plot of the movie too was a quasi sequel of the TV show. So they were all older. Raph had spent years walking the earth and comes back as like a different vigilante. Casey and April have been in a relationship for a little while. Like it
They
was
call each other babe.
yeah,
That's nice.
it was a well done, more mature movie. And Patrick Stewart was the bad guy,
was
and it
he?
was
Oh,
like
yeah.
all monsters and stuff. It was a good movie, and it should get a little bit of love. I think it's forgotten in the dark period of no TMNT content, and I'm gonna give it to it.
Right on.
All right, V for Vendetta. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Next.
Because we're turtles. That's my favorite line in that movie.
Hang on, I'm
Well, while he's
Succinct.
doing this, props to the new one. The new TMNT looks dope.
I didn't watch the trailer. I
Turtles
saw
trailer.
I
Yeah.
would like to.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. Our son votes for TMNT. Jason Brown said it was excellent.
What was it?
One of the two movies.
One of the films we're discussing here tonight.
Len, the next matchup is Hellboy 2004 by Guillermo del Toro or Heavy Metal 1981.
Oh, man.
Good matchup.
Oh, my God.
I think this is easy.
I think it's easy, too, but, like, you just hit me in my little boys, man, because heavy metal. Let me tell you, boy.
Seem to be enjoying.
Phrasm plus phrasm, if I.
Oh
right?
man, a little 14-year-old Len running in, sneaking into the movie theater with his friend. Who was it? Was it Kevin? I think it was me, Kevin, and Richie.
Animated boobies.
We went into to see Heavy Metal, boy.
Some backshi boobies.
You get close.
I was going to live here for a minute. Oh my god.
Anyway, I think you're going to vote for
I'm going to go with Hellboy. Because look,
because
man,
it's a different kind of nut.
Nice.
look, come in. I mean, Ron Perlman was made to be Hellboy, right? I don't care who else puts on the red. It don't matter. He was made to be Hellboy. It was so spot on. And Del Toro was made to bring that world, Mike Mignola's world, to life in the theater. It was absolutely just insane. What I appreciated about it, though, is that the books were definitely darker, and he it's still dark, but he lightened it enough up because of the brand of comic book movies that were being out at the time, so he wanted to fit in that world a little bit, but he still wanted to be true to the universe that Mignola had created. All of the character designs, he made Ace Sapien make sense on the screen, man. Who knew he was going to steal him for another movie later on and win an Oscar? But he did it, and it was great.
That fish do be fucking.
He do be fucking. He be fucking.
Yeah,
he do well in Heavy Metal.
God fist to God dick.
So yeah,
that's right, he was a god,
it's
wasn't he?
Hellboy all the way.
I completely concur. I was obsessed with this movie being Hellboy. I have seen Heavy Metal. I think it's nostalgic and very, very of a time.
Yes, very much, very much.
Hellboy was, as Randy would say, that work. I was obsessed with the trailer. I was obsessed with the comic. I was obsessed with the casting. I was obsessed with Guillermo del Toro, and every single one of those things I was obsessed with just validated themselves over and over again. And I loved this movie. I love this movie.
I remember enjoying Heavy Metal, but it never really stuck with me. I was just, as a kid, I was like, boobies. But then Hellboy, I've never been a fan of the comic book.
Really?
The comic book always felt very repetitive to me.
Okay.
Squid monster, punch through wall, say damn, the end. And then I love Guillermo del Toro. I love Ron Perlman. But something about that first movie always felt like so close to being awesome. But everything about it felt like none of the characters were really involved in they haven't found their voices yet. So Hellboy 2 was really the one for me.
Oh yeah.
But betwixt the two of these, I'd have to go Hellboy.
Oh, fair enough.
I really like Heavy Metal as a concept. Like, I remember they did a show for a while, and I like the idea of it.
Wow, I didn't even know they had a show.
Yeah, early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, it's the Metal Hurlant.
Yes, Metal
Whatever you
Hurlant
called it,
was
yeah.
the name of it. Yeah. Which I think is what Heavy Metal is called,
Yeah.
right? It's originally a French magazine. So I really like it. I don't have that much exposure to it, and I have not seen this movie.
What have you seen, Brian?
So
I have seen 1/3 of the films on this list.
So the
That's what I've
the
seen.
Heavy Metal film
Yeah.
is very dissimilar from 2000 AD and Heavy Metal in general.
And Heavy Metal
It's-
2000.
Way different
yes,
than Heavy Metal
God,
2000.
yes.
It's an anthology film, all different types of animation, all
Is
kind of
Mobius
different.
involved in it?
Some of the
in one of the
designs.
things?
I think.
Okay.
It was
one of the
mostly Ralph
stories.
Bakshi.
Okay.
Yeah,
So a lot of
it's produced.
rotoscoping, a lot of like,
I love rotoscoping.
and John Candy was like, it was Canadian produced, so a lot of like Canadian actors are. It's a weird movie. You could tell that everyone was a little high, making it. Just to give you like a level set, it's really not like the anthology book, or it's not like
That's
that
all right.
TV show.
I have so.
It's not like that TV show.
Oh,
at all.
okay.
Yeah.
All I really know about it is like it is a sci-fi anthology thing, and I like that idea, and I like the art that I've seen from it. You know, so I'm gonna go Hellboy because I thought Hellboy was awesome.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah, is that a Is
I
that a
think it's a fair
qualification?
question.
I did see it. It is a fair question.
The trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
He assumes.
Yeah, I saw the first clip.
So I've heard.
Yeah. I did
Good
see this
font.
one.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I'm with you, JD. I like Hellboy 2 even better.
We'll get to it.
Here it comes.
Twink.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
That hurt a little
you know
bit.
what? I've been holding my tongue a lot too. That's a solid rule. If your vote relates to another movie that's coming up,
Yeah.
don't blow your load yet.
No.
We'll get
Gotcha.
to it in its own.
I
time
kept
chat.
some
Don't
of my
pull a
load.
Len.
Don't pull a line.
Jeez.
What, in the heavy metal theater?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so let's not talk about our impressions of
Rum-pum-pum.
Heavy Metal 2000 yet because it might show up, or
Sure.
Hellboy 2 yet it might show up. So let's.
Mine's Hellboy because it was my first exposure to both Ron Perlman, knowingly, to Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro. Unknowingly, I was exposed to Ron Perlman when he played Clayface in Batman the Animated Series.
Truth.
But this
He
is
was
the first
Clayface in Batman the Animated Series?
Sure was.
Oh. I did not know that either.
And heavy metal is I like. I don't like it at the level of Hellboy, but there is an excellent South Park heavy metal parody episode that is wonderful.
Yeah.
But we can keep moving.
Truth. Sticking with you, Terry.
Yep.
The next matchup is Kingsman: The Secret Service from 2014, or A History of Violence from 2005.
Oh man, I was so ready to say Kingsman. I'm going to say History of Violence. Viggo Mortensen is putting on a clinic. Who directed that?
Yeah,
that's a
David
good question.
Cronenberg.
Is that the
Cronenberg.
one where he puts on
Cronenberg
a-
directed it. It's excellent. They hook up on the staircase.
Is that the one where he puts on a clinic about his taint?
No,
Is that the one where he's fighting someone naked?
no. That's Eastern Promises.
Oh,
you're right.
Thinking of
That's
Eastern Promises, which came after. But Cronenberg, Viggo Mortensen, and also just nobody knew it was based on a graphic novel. And then
know.
it goes to the Oscars, and they're like, by the way, this is an adapted screenplay. And you're like, what?
Right.
Wonderful film. I cannot sing its praise enough. I would watch that any day of the week. Him and whoever plays the wife, they have a
Maria
Bella.
Maria Bella. They have a wonderful
Chemistry.
and lots of scenes together. William
It's
Hurt
good.
rolling up at
Lots
the
of scenes.
end just to kind of explain things is great. But a scene that I watch over and over and over again on YouTube is the coffee scene in the diner.
Yes.
Where the discovery is made. That is masterful filmmaking in regards to tension and in regards to just acting. One guy is going through the roof, and Viggo kind of tips his hand very subtly.
Yes.
Very subtly. And then the question is asked, how did he get so good at killing people? And that is just such a wonderful thing. There's also a wonderful acting performance by one of the coffee guys. They're in the car coming in, and there's a dickhead quarterback player who's been tormenting Viggo's son.
Right.
Who, they come up near each other, and the car swings, and the quarterback immediately goes like boom and flips him the bird. And the guy in the car that's one of like the thugs just looks over and just holds his gaze, and it's haunting. And the quarterback, you literally see him like shiver a little bit in the drive. And they add this line. They didn't need to. It was all said beautifully with that acting of who the hell was that? I don't want to know. Yeah. So I can't believe that came up because I'm such a Kingsman fan. I'm such a Matthew Vaughn fan, but I gotta go History of Violence.
Right on.
History of Violence.
See, that's
is
why
amazing.
March Madness brackets
Yeah.
are hard.
Yeah. I've not seen either of these films. History of Violence looked pretty cool, but Kingsman also looked pretty cool. So I'm going to go with Kingsman.
All right.
Jesus Christ. So it wasn't just vote for Jaws.
I have not seen Jaws.
Don't fucking encourage him because it'll be harder for me to tally. He's got a very narrow margin of success here. Pick the two. You stay with the rules. Don't listen to him.
Our son votes for History of Violence, and Ronnie Strike says, "Holy shite! Look at you guys! Wow, Hellboy reboot is coming, and I'm excited. History has an ending that I just can't recommend for norms, fans only."
It's an OnlyFans ending.
Well done.
Could have been.
You piece of shit. That was great. What are the two movies?
Kingsman, Secret Service, or History of Violence?
I'm also going to go History of Violence. It has am I wrong? There's like a sex scene on the stairs.
Yes.
That
I
is one of
mentioned
the
it.
hottest pieces of sex scenes.
Yep.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, she gets mad at him.
Yes.
I always thought that was weird, but again, Cronenberg.
It made
Did
sense.
she not finish?
I'm gonna go with Kingsman: Secret Service. I thought this movie was delightful.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It is fun.
It is
I love
delightful.
It is fun.
There's a couple of the aspects haven't dated very well.
Yeah, that's kind of what kept me.
But
Ha.
Yeah.
it's more so a problem in the second movie than it is in the first one, and where they take the characters after the tasteless joke, it kind of is
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine. I love this movie. I love.
It is fun.
I love
Great movie.
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
He's fantastic in this movie.
I did not anticipate that spawning like a series of films.
I've enjoyed. Well,
Hold it.
yeah, I've enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, History of Violence. If you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, you are missing one of the best movies like in the last 50 years.
Absolutely.
It is
Oh.
an excellent movie. And you want to talk about a underappreciated actor, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you only
He does
know
get-
him
yeah.
from The Lord of the Rings, you do not know this man's worth.
I mean, if you only know him from The Lord of the Rings,
Or
you
Green
also are
Book.
very happy.
You don't know this man. You don't know this man's worth. He is sensational. He is fantastic in this movie. Maria, this is actually was my introduction to Maria Bello, and
Yeah,
I was
man.
like,
she's
Yeah,
great.
you're right.
She's
where,
awesome.
where did she come from?
And where did she go?
Well, she's done some. She's done
did
some
TV.
things. She did some TV things.
She became a TV lead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
like a
she's
procedural
made her
something.
money. She's worked.
good,
you know,
good,
so
good,
she
good.
hasn't lacked for work. But History of Violence will always be like a real feather in the cap of both of their resumes. And David Cronenberg, come on,
Yeah.
forget
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Forget about it.
So that's your pick?
Yes, History of
Okay.
Violence.
I need you guys to be real clear. All right, History of Violence. That's the first split vote, 3-2.
Oh wow.
That's the closest it's been so far.
And the first one that all the votes
Matter all the way to the end.
Up
Yeah.
to the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's probably gonna go fast.
Okay.
Whiteout from 2009
Oh wow.
Yeah.
versus Atomic Blonde from 2017.
Ew.
Oh,
Interesting match.
wow. Okay, look, I love the comic book Whiteout. It's
Yeah.
a great comic book, and the movie's not bad, but it just ain't the comic. Atomic Blonde is ridiculous.
Yep.
Atomic Blonde all the way. Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
Forget
man.
about it.
I'm gonna pick Atomic Blonde, but it's only because I liked it more than Whiteout. Not
That's a
because,
good reason.
Hold on. Not because I think it's a very good movie.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't think Atomic Blonde is very good.
I mean,
I think it's a really good set piece for like 4 action scenes in an incredibly overcomplicated, convoluted movie that I disliked watching.
that's a Marvel movie.
No, it's not a Marvel movie. A Marvel movie is simple. This was not
Can I
simple.
suggest a fast forward on this one?
What do you mean?
To
on,
you?
on this vote.
on this vote.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
let's
for this
go.
one, because I'm betting I know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I love Atomic Blonde.
Let's go.
The soundtrack, so good.
Oh,
And
soundtrack is great.
the work that Charlize Theron put in on that set piece, one of the set pieces.
It's awesome.
And I loved how twisty turny it was. I enjoyed it. I've watched
Who
it several
directs that?
times since.
Chad Stileski,
Okay.
the other half of John Wick.
Right.
And it's definitely better than the comic book. I didn't make it through the comic book.
Atomic Blonde is a pretty cool title, and I haven't seen it or Whiteout. I have to go with Atomic Blonde.
Cool. It is a good title.
Yeah.
And Atomic Blonde, they did a good job actually referencing some things from the MTV show, the short-lived one that was on at the same time as The Max. If you remember that back
You're
in the
talking
day.
about
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm talking Eon Flux.
yeah,
Sorry.
Eon Flux is a
Same
It's the
different
same movie.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I didn't see that.
But
I love
but it's
Atomic
not.
Blonde. Charlize Theron's good.
All right, so Atomic Blonde takes it with a
Cool.
swoop.
Okay.
There are some fucking amazing action sequences, and she is
Yeah.
the goat.
She kills it.
She's tall.
Yeah.
She is tall.
She is tall.
So the next matchup, Terry, I need you to kick this one off. It is R.I.P.D. from 2013
Ain't that?
versus Kingsman: The Golden Circle from 2017.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to go Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I really couldn't get my teeth into R.I.P.D. I tried a
Nobody
lot.
else
I
could
love
either.
the actors, but I just couldn't get in. Kingsman, I had enough goodwill from the previous film built up where I could go into that and enjoy the whole thing. And luckily, someone had. I didn't go to see it in theaters. I caught it on streaming. I didn't go in with massive expectations because by then I was aware of the Elton John of it all. I was aware of that it's just nowhere near the same movie, the Colin Firth reintroduction. That, but I had enough goodwill where I enjoyed that. Whereas the other film, I frankly couldn't get into and was a little disappointed in some of my heroes. You know, in Ryan Reynolds and
Kevin Bacon, man. Kevin Bacon was good in that flick.
Who am I thinking of?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
He's great.
Just an oddity. However, I bet I would enjoy it more now that I know that it just showed up on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch it
No,
there.
you won't.
Yeah, I won't.
damn.
You're right. All right,
There you
go with Kingsman.
Now, I didn't see the first Kingsman, so I also did not see this one. R.I.P.D. is a film that I also have not seen. So when I worked at a movie theater for a while, I was like...
a movie theater and haven't seen all of these?
Oh, yeah, for like 14 years. I was a projectionist.
My God!
There
was your job to watch
Standing
it.
behind the projector.
I was running 16 movies at a time.
Yeah, but I was a projectionist too for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
you
I
still
also worked in
eventually
a movie
ended up
theater.
piecing all the movies together. Like you saw them.
I mean, I stopped by for the nude scenes and whatever, sure. Once I knew that they
Did
were
you
there.
Tyler Durden it? And
Yeah,
put-
he would splice
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nude scenes in.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people have seen my
Your
penis.
work. Yeah.
Oh, work too.
You work in your penis.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Where he did one frame,
calls
I
his
did like
penis the work.
15 minutes.
Jason Brown, can I be on the show next week? I've seen most of the movies.
Thank
you know
you,
what?
Jason.
I told these guys, I said, I have only seen 1/3 of these films.
You're gonna have to sit on his lap though.
And
Yeah.
I did also. My response to that was just make a pick.
Yeah. And I did.
Did you?
No
Oh, no. For previous ones. I'm going to go with Kingsman, Secret
Great.
Service.
word.
R.I.P.D. did look cool, though. I might watch it. What do you think I should pick, Lynn?
No, I'm just. Why are you choosing it? It's more letters. Like, what is your reasoning?
When all else fails, R.I.P.D. is on 4 letters.
How far into this are we?
Nah.
We should probably go into like an
I'm
express
gonna go
mode.
with Kingsman.
Yeah.
Go.
Kingsman also.
I didn't see either of them.
I'm gonna go with Kingsman. It has one of the most unfortunate kind of tone deaf scenes in any spy movie I've ever seen. However, we get Pedro Pascal as a
Oh, I forgot
honky
about
tonk
that.
cowboy with some of the best action scenes. So
There you
I'm
go.
good.
And we don't get Channing Tatum.
Yeah, like one scene. Yeah.
R.I.P.D. sucks. Kingsman.
Cool.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
Cool.
Next.
Oh, hold on, guys. I'm juggling a couple things, so
Ronnie
like
Strike
I'll
says,
say what
who
next.
is this non-movie watching stiff that you pulled for the movie-themed episode?
So,
This is Brian. This is
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
This is Brian.
Brian's
Yeah,
friend's
hi.
Ronnie Strike.
Ronnie Strike?
He's a longtime friend of the show. We haven't
Excellent.
seen hide nor hair of him in a long time, so welcome back, Ronnie. We
Yeah.
missed you.
Len, next matchup is The Adventures of Tintin from 2011 or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze from 1991. Only a year after the first movie, by the way.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That
right?
is. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like less than a year turnaround.
You can tell.
Yeah.
No, I
Ninja
should,
rap.
right. I want to make sure you remember that this is the Vanilla Ice vehicle. Go Ninja, go.
Would you like us to do the dance for you?
Please.
Yeah, I would like that too.
It'll be really hard to get out of here. I'll do it later.
We have time.
Ninja rap.
Look, I grew up actually loving the Tintin comic books. I used to read them and he really got me into like adventure stories. So I was really excited when I heard that they were making a Tintin movie. But then when I saw what they were doing with it, I was like, ew. And yeah, it was horrible. It made me actually go and rewatch Tintin. They did animated a series from HBO from years earlier. That is actually very cool because it's very true to the comic. But Secret of Ooze, I'm not the world's biggest TMNT fan, but I respect the fun of them, and when I go with a bunch of people that are into it, I enjoy it, and I just live off of that. So Secret of Ooze.
I'm gonna go with Secret of the Ooze because it's probably the movie I've seen the most ever.
Really?
Wow.
How many times would you say?
I mean, it's probably not countable. So like that summer, So movies came out on VHS like 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was about to be released on VHS, it cost like $30 to purchase a movie.
Yeah.
I saved up money for like the 2 months beforehand, bought the VHS, and wore the shit out of it. We're talking like I stopped. I started losing count on summer days because I would just play it over and over again. I memorized the trailers on that VHS tape.
Yeah.
So just for that alone, even though Adventures of Tintin is probably it's not probably it is a better movie.
Yeah.
It is more technically proficient, and it is a smarter film. TMNT 2.
Come on, boys. Super Shredder, come on. I love TMNT, Secret of the Ooze. I remember being just as big a fan of Secret of the Ooze as I was the original TMNT. I was still surfing that high a year later. I was very excited to see that, and I love the shit out of it. I love that movie. I haven't really visited it recently, but there's a lot of these movies, man. I want to go pick up and revisit.
I liked The Secret of the Ooze, wherein we learned The Secret of the Ooze. Yes, but I don't remember anything about it except that I liked it.
Yeah,
but I did like it, and I never saw Tintin. See, I gotta go Secret of the Ooze.
Tonka and Razor, I really, really enjoyed. Secret of the Ooze, Tintin, as you said, is a better movie. I love that you can feel the Spielbergian influence in it. However, impact on me personally, definitely I'm in Noel's camp of at the time I thought it was wonderful and I really enjoyed watching it with friends and pizza.
Indeed.
Next matchup, Terry, we're gonna take it with you, is Red Sonja from 1985 or Josie and the Pussycats from 2001.
Josie and the Pussycats. I actually met Rachel Lee Cook at a Comic-Con and she looks the same. It is crazy. But I loved that movie. I thought there was a lot of clever things in it. I liked how the one girl's like, I was in the comics, so they did some fourth wall breaking there. Seth Green is really funny in that movie.
He's awesome.
Along with the person that acts across him, he's a Jewish fellow. He's in a ton of movies. I can't remember who he is, but he's really funny as well. They have a good chemistry. He was on the show.
Brecken Meyer.
Brecken Meyer's in that too. Brecken Meyer's Alan M though, isn't he?
Matt Lillard?
Blonde? Nope. It's it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's not get stuck there.
It's not Matt Lillard.
But that was also what's her face from plays the night nurse and was in Rosario Dawson, also Ahsoka. Was in that movie. It's Parker Posey's really funny in that movie.
Yeah,
Tara Reid gives an actual performance. She's good.
Nightcrawler's in it.
Nightcrawler is in it. Alan Cumming is in it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's wonderful, and I wish they made more movies like that. That took a real fun '90s, early 2000s look at Hanna-Barbera properties.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it as a Hanna-Barbera before the comic book. Is
I'm
that
always
true?
wondering why we
It was
don't
a comic
have
book
90s
first.
It was a comic first. Because it's good.
Yeah, we'll wait 70 years.
I would love to see in the same thing like a Jabberjaw type show.
I'm not waiting for Jabberjaw.
I am waiting for Jabberjaw.
I didn't even get
In the style of Josie and the
You don't
Pussycats.
remember Jabberjaw?
I'm going
Here's a
Josie.
shark.
Brian?
I recently read an article about Josie and the Pussycats that sounded like what they were going for was pretty cool. And I
Jim, what's
also
your
have
vote?
not seen Red Sonja, so it's Josie and the Pussycats.
And by the way, the songs in Josie and the Pussycats are great. Soundtrack.
Dude, I bought the
cool.
soundtrack.
Yeah, it's excellent.
We went on a lark. It was like, oh, let's go see the Josie and the Pussycats movie.
What a fanciful look.
Oh boy,
Whoa.
it was. We walked out of that blown away.
I
We couldn't
tripped and
believe.
fell into the movie theater and it was playing. Josie and the
Yeah.
Pussycats.
Dude, she was all that.
We couldn't.
Turns out.
Nice. We couldn't believe how much fun that movie was. 100%. Josie and the Pussycats.
I've never seen it. I'm gonna go with Red Sonja.
You should. You should
I
check
know.
it out.
I
It's
really want to.
delightful.
I
Have
really
you
want
seen
to.
Red Sonja?
I have. It was like Conan, Red Sonja, and Krull were constantly on TV.
Oh, that's
when I was
right. Yeah, they
little.
were.
So,
They were.
TNT
That's
and
true.
USA.
so those.
That's very true.
I think it was actually because I'm a little older. I think it was HBO. Like daytime and HBO was like all the Barbarian movies.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Moneybags.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had HBO either.
No way.
I saw Red Sonja. I did not like Red Sonja. I did not see Josie and the Pussycats. However, I have forever, for some strange, odd reason, I never really had time for Betty or Veronica, but there was something about Josie and the Pussycats. All three of them just did it for me.
Was it the cat
in the
ears
comic
that
books
they were?
and in the animated series
Yeah.
when they
Submit
went
your
into
score?
space?
You give any animated girl a tambourine, I'm in.
Oh my god!
Interesting.
Oh my god!
Real girls,
Val.
no. Just
Yeah.
animated
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, a
Get
real
the third
girl,
dimension outta
hey,
here.
Learn an instrument. An
Goodness
animated
gracious.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love their theme song for their show with Josie in outer space.
I'm gonna go ahead and submit your score for Josie and the
Josie and
Pussycats. I feel like this is where it's going.
Chris Dunn says soundtrack by Letters to Cleo. That is absolutely correct. I forgot about that. Thanks,
Cool.
Chris.
Cool.
All right, so this next one I think is very difficult. Quit cheating.
Okay.
Dick Tracy, 1990,
Oh man.
versus The Shadow,
Oh,
1994.
come on, man.
So these were
You couldn't put
all
that up
these
against
were
Red Sonja?
all the seeds
You didn't
were
see 'em anyway.
automatic, like
Yeah, it
were
would've been easier.
randomly selected. These were not matchups that we fabricated at all.
Yeah.
So I did not want this matchup. But Len, take it away.
When we were choosing all these movies, all of you guys talked about how much you remembered liking The Shadow.
Not remembered. I actively
Yes.
like it.
And I didn't remember liking it, so I rewatched The Shadow this week.
I meant to.
I sat down and rewatched, but you were with Brian. So I sat down and rewatched
Am I gonna get
The
upset?
Shadow. That is not that great of a movie,
Oh, no.
guys.
Dude,
I'm
it's
sorry.
great.
It does not hold up. The special effects are abysmal in that movie. It's just not that good of a movie. I really wanted to like it. And what is this up against?
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy. Wildly crazy, insane movie. Madonna at the height of her powers. I like Warren Beatty. I am here for Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman.
Yo, Mumbles.
As Mumbles. Oh my
Man.
God, man. Like, look, it was
I-
stupid fun. Dick Tracy all the way.
So I'm gonna pick The Shadow because I don't think it's gonna get as much love. I think Dick Tracy doesn't hold up as well as The Shadow.
Oh, you're wrong.
But Russell Mulcahy is a better genre director than Warren Beatty is. Like understanding like the genre. Either way, I will
Where's
say
your proof?
my proof. I mean Highlander,
Shadow.
The Shadow. Genre movies. I'm not talking about like movies. Reds is not comparable to any of these. I got it.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
Understanding
continue.
action,
I don't wanna step on your
blocking,
toes.
the whole like the entire whatever. Anyway,
We're doing
Mise
this.
en
Dick
scène.
Tracy is phenomenal. The 5-color scheme is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Still to this day, every time I see Dustin Hoffman, in my head I say, "Oh, baby did it." Oh, baby did it. Oh, baby did it. Still, like a fucking earworm that will never go away.
I haven't seen
Oh,
the
baby did
movie.
it.
I haven't seen the movie since the theater. It took me right back. Took me right back.
I had the magazines, the toys, the whole nine. It was very important to my upbringing.
Yes.
I still revisit The Shadow yearly as a piece of Pulp Fiction, and I love it.
I
So
want
The
to.
Shadow.
I wanted to revisit it just because I knew it was part of a topic, but I didn't get a chance to. I loved Dick Tracy when it first came out. I couldn't believe, I was a kid. I couldn't believe like it was from a 1940s comic strip.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool. And man, those two-way radio watches.
Oh, yeah.
I went specifically to get one of the toys. Was not.
It's not-
not
it just
a
looked
two-way
like it.
radio.
It
It did not work.
Oh,
I
that's
will-
only-
This doesn't get through to Dick at all.
Where's my dick?
So I guess Dick Tracy's your
Dick
vote?
Tracy, brother. Oh, and
wow.
also, Madonna.
That's on the order of the hoverboard from Back to the Future 2
Yes.
thing. Oh, I was so mad.
Oh,
So mad. So
to this
convinced we were
day, I
getting
want
it.
one of those.
Yeah, me too. And now we have the watch thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as cool.
There's
So-
a hoverboard too.
I don't have one. But
Hoverboard. Yeah.
yeah. I love Dick Tracy. I love the color scheme, the just bringing to life that sort of thing. Just like it was in the comic. It felt like it was just like it was in the comic. And I love that bold kind of thing. I don't really remember it that well, but I remember liking it. The other day, a friend of mine and I were discussing Clams Casino, and we were like, what is that? Somebody said, I think clams or maybe mussels. And I was like, no, if it was mussels, it would be Mussels Casino. And I thought that would be a great Dick Tracy villain name.
Muscles Casino.
Mussels Casino.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Perfect. All that being said,
Haven't seen either movie.
The Shadow knows, right?
What
does.
evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Exactly.
Yes.
Lamont Cranston. I love that movie.
Ian McKellen, Penelope Miller.
Ian McKellen was in it.
Ian
Yeah, Ian
McKellen
McKellen
is
is in
in
it,
the
yeah.
Shadow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Curry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tim Curry.
Tom Lone.
Tim Curry's
Yeah,
great.
it's a lot of wasted talent.
So good.
But I loved it. I always loved the radio show.
Fucking hater on hate.
Practice that laugh a lot. So I gotta go Shadow.
All right.
Dick Tracy for the win.
There you go.
Dick Tracy
Oh,
is an excellent
I
movie, and
really
and
win.
one special thing about Dick Tracy is I watched it with my grandfather, and we both loved it because he
Aw,
remembered the 40s.
That's great.
Yeah.
cool.
So that aside, artistically, I think it's a much better film as far as how it's put together. Cinematography is better, editing's better, the direction is better. I think just across the board, it's a better film. Warren Beatty, for the love of God, make another one or give up the rights so we can see more Dick Tracy.
Make another one that someone else is starring in.
Well, he won't give up
No,
the rights.
he won't give up the rights. That's what I'm
So
saying.
he
No,
do-
I'm saying don't put it.
No,
you're telling
put
him
it-
to
put
make
him
one.
in.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I don't
getting
want.
Indiana Jones.
I don't want to see 80.
I want to
Tracy.
see
Only
old
Tracy.
Dick.
What's hang on. What is
And
going
that
to
was
happen?
just for that joke. We can move on.
Dick Tracy is going into public domain in 2027.
Excellent.
That's going to happen
That's
first.
very close.
I'm looking
Then
forward to it.
fucking.
John Hamm, put him in.
Ooh, that would be great.
All right, so we did.
What is The Shadow by a Mile? I want to say who's chiming in, but
It's
Blue
blue
Reader.
letters.
Blue
Sorry,
letters.
Twitch
Blue
user.
letters. Sorry, Twitch user. But The Shadow by a Mile says Twitch user.
I guess
Type
we
out
have
your
to
name.
throw in the Phantom with those two picks. The Phantom
think
was
he
a
missed
little
it.
earlier. It won. It's fine. So a good stopping point is 5 from now. Let's speed through the next 3.
Here we go.
got it.
Okay.
Here we go.
So starting with Terry, Conan the Barbarian 1984 or Dread 2012.
Dread, no problem.
Yep.
Fuck.
I think I saw Conan the Barbarian. I'm gonna go with that one.
You didn't see.
I may or may not have seen Dread.
1,000 times Dread. I
Dread.
want a sequel.
All right.
Dread hard.
Dread.
Is that Carl Urban one?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that did look really
I
cool.
can't believe
That
that
did
Dread's
look
good
cool.
any time of day. You catch that on
Yeah.
TV, you stop and you
Yeah.
watch.
You said
Okay.
Dread.
And Lena, not I said Lena Dunham.
Lena Dunham is
what is her name?
Dread.
From Game of Thrones?
Lena Headley.
Lena Headey.
Lena Headey.
Headey.
Lena Headey.
I was thinking of Headley Lamar.
Dunham, very different
Eddie
film.
Lamar.
Okay, this
Someone's
one's
talking about Blazing Saddles.
this one's a little rough. Len, kick it off. Frank Miller's 300.
Is it me? Because he.
Snake.
Okay.
Back to
Okay.
Snake.
Frank Miller's 300 or Sin City.
Ooh.
Frank Miller's 300. Ooh.
That's a tough
Or the. Ooh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
God. Scott.
While he's thinking, someone make me some fan art of Lena Dunham in the Dread movie.
With like
Aren't
the
you a-
scar on her face.
Aren't you an
I
artist?
gotta go. I can't believe this.
Ooh.
I think I want to go 300.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I want to go
Yeah.
300.
I'm going to go Sin City.
That's a hard choice.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
Sin City because I loved they made the comic 10
comic.
times better
Yeah.
by making a facsimile of the comic. It was just, I think it was like a strike of lightning.
That's a
that
fair.
carries
That's a
little
fair
bit more.
point because
Yeah.
300 is good, but I can't say it's better than the comic book.
And also too, I think Sin City has aged better. Like I can rewatch.
I
Sin
changed
City.
my vote.
I
Sin
can,
City.
oh,
Change your
hey.
vote.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
cool.
I changed my vote.
I
Sin
can
City.
rewatch Sin City. I can rewatch.
You're right.
300. I just fast forward to the cool shit.
You're
Speed
right.
round, let's go.
You're right.
Kitty?
Sin City, 100%.
Cool. I've seen both of these films. I really like both of these films. Sin City looks amazing. I love that aesthetic with the little bits of color and black and white.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Mickey Rourke.
I'm gonna go with 300 though. I really loved the style of that, and I loved the story. I'm a big ancient history guy anyway. I'm gonna go 300.
Right on.
Sin City, it just left a good effect on me. There's a lot of shots that were done in that movie that I still think of to this day. And most importantly, Robert Rodriguez left the Directors Guild of America because they wouldn't let him label co-directed by Frank Miller when he's like, Frank Miller storyboarded this,
Yeah.
which is why also you see special guest director Quentin Tarantino. But I just love the nads on that guy of being like, fuck you, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah,
That's
I do
cool.
remember that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The unfortunate legacy of Sin City,
Yo.
though, is that Frank
Tell
Miller
it.
then thought he could be a director, and
Right.
he
Don't
did this
bring it up.
Hold on. The Spirit.
is coming.
No. It got knocked out in the first round.
Oh, that's right. It
yeah.
sure did.
Good.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what
Yeah,
one
he let
later.
that go to his head, man. Oh, he called me a director. I must be a director now. Get the fuck out.
Somebody give me Scarlett Johansson.
There's some pieces of I've actually rewatched The Spirit. There's pieces of it that I was like, you're like 30% away from being good.
From being good.
Yeah. But still, it's kind of okay. Terry. We're back to you, Terry. Time Cop 1984 or The Old Guard 2020.
Time Cop.
That is tough.
Time Cop was amazing, despite the fact that the way that they won makes no sense at all. They can't occupy the same space, Brian.
No
matter can occupy the same space at the same time. It is not the same matter because it's been multiple years. Even if the skin cells hadn't changed, it wouldn't, right? And then just by touching, he comes right. But
Spoiler
I love that
alert.
movie. Well, I didn't say who died.
Okay.
And I didn't see The Old Guard, but it does look cool. So Time Cop.
Okay.
I'm going to go Time Cop.
Oh, fuck you. Old Guard is such a good fucking
It's
movie.
so much
what I've
better
heard.
than Time Cop. It's
So
the
good.
Old
But
Guard.
But he does-
Maybe
he does
I'll
a
change
split.
my vote, too, since we can do that.
Well, you can.
Now, hang on a
I
second.
mean, we didn't establish rules. Okay, if you want to, like, from now on.
Well, we didn't get to
No,
the
I'm-
end.
No.
I'm teasing. I don't care.
Also, Time Cop was based on a comic?
Yeah, by
yeah. I
had no
Robert
idea.
Verheiden?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
Yeah.
The Old Guard is amazing. It's amazing.
It is very, very good.
So good, man. And there are moments in that movie that still haunt me. Where there's one God gets drowned and comes back to life, and just keeps
Over and over and over again. You know what? I
again.
changed my vote. It's Old Guard.
Hang on a second.
Oh, you would love the Old Guard.
Oh, I believe
think
it.
it
I
would
really.
too.
It
It's
just
very
came out
good.
recently, and you guys were raving about it, and I really meant to watch it.
and part 2
watched
is
other
coming.
stuff.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Older Guard.
And it was
Yeah.
directed by Gina Prince Bythewood
Who also
The Woman
directed?
King.
of The Woman King.
That's right.
Nice.
All right, moving on.
All right, so
There we go.
Old Guard takes it from split decision. This one's going to be a little rough. We might need a little extra time. Tank Girl, 1995, or Scott Pilgrim versus the World, 2010.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Good
it's
movie.
not really rough, but go ahead.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
It's-
Underrated.
I watch it every year.
I loved Tank Girl hard.
Good.
Yeah, so did
I
I.
loved the soundtrack, everything about that movie. Lori Petty was a beast.
Made her a star.
Oh man! Also, it's hard to diddle myself when I've got when my hands are tied up. Great line. But
So
Scott
that was a non
Pilgrim,
sequitur.
Scott Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim all the way, man. That movie is a master class in filmmaking. I love it.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim is amazing. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
I
Yep.
didn't see
Scott Pilgrim, Edgar Wright, wonderful film.
yeah,
Tank
Better
Girl,
than the
Tank Girl is great.
comics.
Ice Cube as Kangaroo, I'll take it any day.
yeah.
Again, I'm going to just quickly.
Our son says
And-
300 just for the Sparta kick.
Just for Sparta.
Ernest DL said The Shadow by a Mile from Twitch.
Is that DL, or is he saying that he is an unknown person?
I'm
I think
down
he's
low.
saying I'm downloading, no problem.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, it was DL. I was like, oh, that has
Yeah.
a connotation.
And Ronnie Strike says to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
I like that. That last one
Solid.
that came in.
He just
Solid
kind of came
advice.
up with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so a pretty good drop off point for tonight. Flash Gordon, 1980, or The Crow, Wicked Prayer,
Oh wait, which one's that?
Part 3.
Fuck
So Edward
No, Part
Furlong?
4. That's Part 4.
That's
That's
the Edward
Edward-
Furlong one?
Four?
Yeah, so there's The Crow, Crow City of Angels, Crow Salvation, and then Crow Wicked Prayer. This is Wicked Prayer.
Jesus.
And it did get it.
That's a parrot.
It's included
It's a crow
because
doing
it,
a parrot.
hang on. It is included because it did technically get a theatrical release. All 4 of them got theatrical releases. That was also a rule.
Wow.
No, right.
Okay.
Who's
that?
It was
It's on Len.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Who's the snack?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's on me. I
Yeah,
just
a
said,
little snack.
yeah. What are they again?
Flash Gordon from 1980.
Flash Gordon.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon. It honestly, it's campy enough. It's fun enough. It's I would say it's probably the road to Marvel. Is
Interesting.
probably that kind of movie. I'm sure there's Marvel directors
see
who
that.
saw that and wanted to take a little bit of that.
I can see that.
And I mean, when he shows up in Ted later, I think that's a great scene. So I'm gonna go Flash Gordon.
Cool. Good reason.
Your matchups are whack,
Ronnie
Ronnie.
Strike says your matchups are whack? Question mark.
He won.
Producer's here now, pal. I'm
They
coming
were-
right at you.
This
They
is
were
round 2. This is how it worked out.
they were all randomized.
Yeah, man.
It's like it's
Yeah.
impossible to seed these.
The shadow.
Yeah.
of
I stand
Dick
by
Tracy
it.
in one
Your
matchup.
matchups are whack.
Balderdash.
Balderdash.
Flash Gordon or The
I
Crow
s-
Wicked Prayer
I saw that Crow TV show, and that was pretty cool.
with Mark Dacascos.
Maybe. But
Who's to say?
yeah, not me. So
If it helps at all, The
Yeah.
Crow Wicked Prayer, starring David Boreanaz, Tara Reid, Edward Furlong, directed by Lance Mungia,
It's
who
a
did
wicked prayer.
Six String Samurai.
I think I saw you post about that movie on Facebook, and I was like, I want to check that movie
Six String
out.
Samurai, I
Yeah,
love
look
that
cool.
flick, yeah.
Yeah.
I like David Boreanaz a lot. Tara Reid's very cool too. Flash Gordon, I know a lot about Flash Gordon. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that movie, but I gotta go Flash Gordon.
Okay.
Yeah. The song is cool. And it's classic sci-fi,
Thinking Flash
right?
Gordon?
Queen.
Flash Gordon for you?
Songs by
I haven't
Queen.
seen either film.
What? Which one do you think? Be a Brian about it.
Well, because I love The Crow so much, I'm going to give it to The Crow.
Are you sure you've
wow.
got 3 other chances for the rest of this vote?
The original Crow, I'm going to vote for that one.
Okay. I'm
right.
gonna go
Abdicating your
Flash
vote for this
Gordon.
round.
What's that?
I can't believe this is the only reason Flash Gordon is getting my vote is because it's going against like Crow Quad. Because Flash Gordon, soundtrack notwithstanding,
Yeah.
is a campy piece of bore to me.
When did that come out? What year is this?
Like 80,
Okay.
I think. It's old. And only thing people remember is the song and the shirt. That's it. But it beats the Crow. This Crow.
Were any of the Crow movies involving the term murder of crows?
No.
Anything like
No.
that? Nothing? All right.
No,
I mean,
they
he
weren't.
did murder a bunch.
They weren't.
But not in the title.
They weren't especially punny movies.
No.
Oh, that's a...
The
In
first one
context of the
exceedingly
Crow, they
dark.
would be puns.
Right?
If people in the
Yeah.
movie were
They
like,
were
"Hey, a crow brought you back to
anti-puns.
death. You mean a murder of crows?" Yeah, that would be a pun.
Yeah, they were
I thought there would be
anti-puns, man.
like more than one of them, and they're like, we're a murder of crow.
not
nothing.
the
No.
crows.
I'd say you can explain it a little bit more, but still, it doesn't really.
No, this is what I hope for. This is only what I hoped.
It's just in the reality of the movies. I think that would be great,
Yeah.
but like in the reality of the movies,
Would that have gotten you to
Hey,
the
I wonder
theater?
what the next team is. The next
Oh,
That was
wait,
what I
wait,
was
hang on,
waiting
hang on,
for
hang on.
somebody to tell me.
We're at time.
Oh,
We did 16 matchups,
fantastic.
which put us halfway through round 3.
Oh.
Hold on. It's because we were going from 64. So the way this is going to work out is this week 16,
Yeah.
next week 16. Finish out round 3. Round 4 is only 8 matchups,
Yeah,
and then round
Right.
and then
That makes
the
sense. That makes
semifinals
sense.
and the finals is only 4 matchups
Duh.
to like all together.
Awesome.
So we're looking at 3 more weeks of this.
We-
Next week, the second half of round 3. The week after that, all of round 4, and then the week after that, semifinals and finals.
I love this. This is a bucket of fun.
It is fun.
I'm having a good
It
time.
is fun.
Do you feel validated? They finally get brackets.
yes.
Nice.
I mean, sport brackets are dumb as shit. but
This is the
is really
same
fun.
exact thing. You just
think it would-
you literally put any
Terry's
you literally put any topic you find enjoyable
Yeah.
in a bracket system, and it's March Madness.
We should
It's
do
fun.
we should do a
Terry's
tournament
eyes
of completely
literally
unrelated
rolled
things.
in the back of
Like
his head,
broccoli.
down his back.
He did the Beetlejuice thing where like he's ate his own eyes and then yeah.
So the winners, to recap the winners really quick. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 with 5 votes. That was a sweep. Kick-Ass with 4 votes. That was 1 vote for Wanted. The Phantom with 5 votes. Sweep. V for Vendetta with 4 votes. 1 for TMNT. Hellboy 2004 5 vote sweep. History of Violence 3-2. That was the first kind of
Split
neck
decision.
break. Atomic Blonde 5 votes sweep. Kingsman The Golden Circle 5 votes sweep. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze 5 votes sweep.
Yes.
Josie and the Pussycats 4-1.
Nice.
Dick Tracy 3-2, also split. Dread 3D 4-1. Sin City 4-1 against 300, which was a hard one. Time Cop lost to the Old Guard. Scout Pilgrim 5 vote sweep. An early indicator that it might go farther, much farther. And Flash Gordon took Crow Part 4
Barely.
with 4-1.
Damn it! I was really invested in that
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
So all of next week, we're going to finish out the rest of the round. There's going to be some gems in there, such
Nice.
as perhaps maybe the original Crow movie, a Vin Diesel
can I ask a
masterpiece
quick
called
question?
Bloodshot.
What was one of the ones that didn't make it here that you wish had?
Oh, great
Oh,
question.
great question.
Terry.
So round 1, the Spirit. No, I'm just kidding.
What's the list? How many were eliminated?
The ones that were eliminated. of the ones that were eliminated, Polar was eliminated, Officer Down, The Spirit, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, which was the sequel
Michael
to
Bay
the
one.
Michael Bay one.
Okay.
Ugh.
Men in Black 3,
Yeah.
Men in Black International,
Meh.
Kick-Ass 2,
Meh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time,
Meh.
The Kitchen,
Huh.
From Hell,
Ah.
Red 2,
Mm-hmm.
30
good
Days
ones.
of Nights.
Ooh, 30
Oh,
Days
that
of
did
30
Night.
Days a Night.
I
is
love
a
It
cool
was-
concept.
It was
It
up
was
against the Rocketeer.
Oh, well, come on.
Surrogates, Son of the Mask, Heavy Metal 2000 did not make the cut. Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For, did not make the cut.
Did you say Hercules?
Hercules made the cut.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I Frankenstein got not a single vote, and The Empty Man. So out of all of those, I think
I only saw one of those
Empty Man,
movies.
the excellent film, The Empty Man.
it was
That's
up
the one.
against.
based on a comic. I had no
yeah,
idea.
it was based. It was
Oh,
up
it's
against.
a wonderful movie.
It was up against
was
Well, there's
Extraction.
the answer to my question.
It
Okay,
was
cool.
up against
pretty good.
Extraction.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
that
taking
one.
Empty Man.
Extraction was really.
No, you're not.
I think of all of those, I think 30 Days of Night would have been interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was
one I would
here.
have.
I
surprisingly
love that
good.
movie.
See that go
But
up
it
against
was
some stuff.
it was against the Rocketeer. That is
Yeah.
an almost insurmountable matchup.
Yeah, I can't.
for
Yeah.
So-
some people.
I agree, Lynn.
Including you. No.
I
No,
think
not
I
this
think
Is that
time.
what he was saying?
that and
You don't like the Rocketeer?
Sin City 2. I think was a hard hit.
I
But
still never saw that.
See,
one.
but here's the thing: it's not that I didn't like the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
This is all about this is the fun of the bracket.
it's about what it's
Of course.
against.
It's
Yeah.
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 All right, we're done.
We're
Yeah,
done.
Wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up.
Thank you all for joining us and chat. Man, the chat was blowing up tonight. I love to see it. Thank you so much. Where else can the people find you, Brian?
Hey, I'm at BrianLeibDesign.com, and come check out the improv comedy show by COD, April 14th at Barley Sheaf Theater in and around Exton.
Dope. No.
You can find me here on Twitter at Mr. Bartucci, MRBARTUCCI. Also, we podcast every Wednesday morning. We drop Fresh Floppies, which is a spoiler-free review show of the comic books that are on the racks that morning. So listen to it on your way to the shop.
Fresh floppies.
There you go. Hey, you can check me out, Len, on the Michaud Mission, which broadcasts right here at Maniac Studios every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. And check out, we are presenting a brand new podcast documentary, The Class of 1989, available where you find podcasts.
Word. Terry.
I'm Terry Leahy. You can find me at thevideocontentfactory.com.
Awesome. Yeah, come to my shop, Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, and buy some comics. That would be amazing. That's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you here next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, JD, would you ever consider shipping something to somebody that didn't live nearby?
You goddamn right I would.
But would you do it?
Yes.
Cool.
I would consider it and then make it so.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then also we're on iTunes and Spotify and all that happy horse shit. We love you. We will talk at you later. God damn it!
Yay!